Junichi Matsuda from Game Freak. I was the game director on Pokémon Black version and Pokémon White version. The first game I really liked a lot was a game that I played at my friend's house called tennis in Japan. It's just a really simple game with two white bars on the side that you hit a ball across the court. It was such an awesome experience back then. I really just wanted to stay at my friend's house all the time to play it. So at first, through a friend from school, I actually met Satoshi Tajiri from Game Freak. Before actually becoming Game Freak, we made the game called Quinty. At that time, we actually didn't receive development tools from Nintendo. Instead, we broke down an actual NES, took it apart, and figured out how to, make things for the system. And I handled the music for the game. And once we actually were getting it finished and we actually got the opportunity to sell the game, we created Game Freak as a company. And at that time, I decided that I'm going to work in the game industry. Probably the person who gave me the opportunity was Satoshi Tajiri. Before I met him, I didn't really think about actually making games. I was just a game freak, and I just loved playing games on my computer, at the arcades, playing on the Famicom. But once we got together and actually started creating games, he was kind of the person who introduced game creation to me. Up through high school, I studied electronics and programming at school, and at first I thought I was just going to start working as a programmer somewhere, just some job. But around that time, 3D computer graphics were first starting to come out and actually have, presentations and whatnot. And so when I saw computer graphics for the first time, I got really excited. I was like, oh, that looks really cool, I want to try that out. So later I went on to a school that has a course that deals with computer graphics. And I went through that course. The studies that I did in school have really helped my career. For example, with Black version and White version, the knowledge I've had of 3D graphics has really helped in talking with the 3D graphics designers, and my old programming knowledge has also really helped when I'm talking with the programmers on the project. So my studies have definitely proven to be a strength when working on video games. I'm always striving to kind of surprise people and give them fun experiences or make them happy. So I'm always coming up with ideas and talking with my staff who actually take my ideas and realize them. I just kind of talk with them and say, hey, I came up with this cool idea, what do you think? And just my desire to really surprise people all the time is kind of what drives me. One of the things I like to do is watch movies. Before I used to just watch them for fun, but the past years I've really just been looking at them in a different way, trying to find things that I can use in future games. And for example, seeing a really beautiful evening scene and thinking about how could I put that into the game. And just always trying to tie it back into my work. I'm having fun doing it though. I'd be really happy if it was to be considered art, but definitely I make it as entertainment. Wanted to be a driver for a dump car or someone who creates Japanese tatami mats. So one of those two. Shooting games, like R-Type. The most important part to have success is always make sure the core gameplay is really fun and not to really be bound by the visuals or something. For example, you have a game like soccer, and you could call the visuals the superstars that stand up front, like Beckham and all the other people. But before that, you obviously have the game of soccer, which is really fun, and that's what's really important. It's one of the elements that really makes games successful is if they have really good core gameplay. So one of the things I think is, I want to make games that really just make people happy. So, well, there's a lot of gory video games with blood will just spray or something like that. And I don't really reject those games. It's just not something that I want to make, and just kind of would prefer if developers would maybe take it to another level and try to figure out another way to express those ideas and just come up with a different expression of it, because that's kind of one of the negative images of gaming, to have the really gory and violent gameplay. One piece of advice obviously is to play a lot of games, all different types of games, and just get ideas from those. And for example, not just play the games, but kind of tie it into what you're interested in. If you want to be a programmer, while you're playing games, try to think about how it was programmed this way. If you want to be in graphic design, I wonder how they came up with this design. Think about those type of things while you're playing the game. Another good thing to do after that is to, like, say if you want to learn music, maybe one of the first things you do is listen to some of the bands you really like and you try and copy their music, play it on your own. So it's kind of important to imitate in the beginning. And then after that, you would take it to another level and just try and really just make something, anything from start to finish without giving up. Even like some kind of replica model. Just really, that's the important thing, is to make something from start to finish without giving up. Da Vinci, the ideas he came up with are in a league of their own. One thing that some people might be surprised is that a lot of people get the image that I'm just really serious. But one thing that might surprise people is that I actually like techno electronic music a lot. Like, for example, like Underworld, Prodigy, and sometimes even more of the more hardcore other things like Slipknot or even Marilyn Manson. I don't really understand what they're saying, but just as like the music itself, I like that kind of more like hard stuff. A lot of times I'll get a bunch of different electronic techno music, and I might share them with other people as well, but kind of create like this a high voltage genre that I can listen to, and while I'm listening to it, like my typing speed goes up, and it's really a high speed stuff. Recently, been playing a lot of Pokémon Black version and Pokémon White version. At work, we actually have a battle tournament. I just recently been training a whole lot of Pokémon, spending just a ton of time raising Pokémon. And one of the ones I planned to use in the tournament was Victini, but after I spent a ton of time training Victini and getting it ready for the tournament, I learned that the regulations we had, Victini wasn't able to be used, so I ended up not even being able to participate in the tournament. Now, I've still got a long way to go. Obviously my adventure is going to continue. I kind of play it a little bit slower than some people, or I've still got a lot of Pokemon I need to catch.